Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah alhamdulillah rabbil alamin Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in Allahumma salli salatan kamilatan wa sallim salaman tanhalu wa tanfarij bihi al-qur'an wa tunal bi rafiq wa husn al-hawa wa istasqara'an bi wajhil karim wa ala alihi wa sahbihi fi kulli lamhatin min nafasin ya rabbi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like first of all to thank all the organizers, Angriba, Universal, Bandito, for inviting me to deliver this speech. Inshallah, this is the second time I'm coming home to UIA. The first talk was about last year. Well, first of all, I would like to apologize on behalf of the conference. We may have misled you into thinking that Siti Nurhaliza will be coming performing. So we put the title Love and Money so that we can get as many of you as possible. If it's an Islamic monetary system, I think maybe 10 will come. Okay, all right. So that's me. Basically, been in the Muamalat industry for 25 years, and I like to see myself as the bridge between Islamic finance academia and Islamic finance industry practices. I've been in both worlds. Academia means I was in UIA in postgrad. Oh yes, this is my very first book. This is a pre-launch. It's not yet printed yet. It'll be ready by the end of December. This is the based on 150 slides also, which I delivered in UIA recently, and it is actually a culmination of 25 years of thought in Islamic Muamalat. For those of you who fill in your name up there, 20% off recommended retail price. Yes. Retail price is about 50 ringgit maybe. So price to you will be about 33 ringgit. No profit, not much profit. This is just content. It's a landscape book, basically. I considered taking the slides and writing it into a 1,000-page book. But then I will be doing you this favor, because then you have to take your paper and notes and fill out the main point. So I thought I just maintain the main point, save you time. But of course, you can call me for a talk, complimentary talk, anytime. And we'll go to this later. This is the link to my book. Okay, now this conference is for those who have love but no money, those with money but without love, those who have love and money, or for those who have no love, no money. Lend me your ears. All right. I don't think any of you have graduated yet. Maybe there are some postgrad here. But whatever it is, I assume that most of you are not yet married. As most of you probably are thinking of getting married. When you get married and you have to deal with the matters that worry you most at the moment, whether you can afford to buy a house, whether you can afford to raise a family. Now, the message that I'm going to deliver to you this morning is a message which has not been delivered by too many people. Of course, there are groups of us that have not been delivered by too many people. It is about whether you can afford to live under the current monetary system. And it's not just that. It is about why 1,400 years ago, in the Quran, Allah and His Rasul declared war on the practitioners. فأذان بها من الله ورسوله. It's also about why we are about to lose Al-Aqsa and Palestine. Okay, now, all right, let me just show you how much I earned when I started work. 1982. Calculate back how old I am. I can tell you if I travel on the train, I get 50% off. I did a degree in UK economics, then I come back and I started work in 1982. I put there the salary of 1,000. Actually, I got 1,200 because I have a couple of years working experience as an auditor in London these days. And I bought the cheapest new car at that time. Not many of you will probably remember this car. It's Ford Laser 1.3 hatchback. So that one, at the back there is that triangle windscreen. And on the Mazda side, on the, I think turn this off. Good, right? Turn this off. Clash. Okay, which one is better? Okay. Ford Laser. I'll stick to this. I think there's some interference. So the price 1.3 cc, 1,000 cc, 14,000. Value. I didn't buy a house at that time. I was taking care of my grandmother. If I did, I would have got a terrace house in Taman Tun for 60,000. I know that the saliva is dripping from your face thinking of this price. Yeah? I teach a lot of unemployed graduates under the scheme Latihan Satu Malaysia at PMB, so I know what's it like. So basically, I asked them to tell me what would be the average graduate salary in 2015. We're not just talking about banks, we're talking about average throughout Malaysia. Answer, I guess, about 2002, if you're lucky. Yeah? In 2015, if you decide to buy a new car of the same CC, of course you can get the Axia or whatever, of the same CC, it will cost you 50,000 ringgit. And if tomorrow you decide to buy a house, I think you should know better. I live in Bukit Jelutong. Houses there started at 380,000 in the year 2000. Today is about 800,000. And then they are opening a new launch at Almina on the way to Rawang. Cheapest house, not that much, 600,000. So if you can see, in 31 years, increase in salary 1,200, increase in car prices 36,000, increase in house prices 340,000, 257% increase in price of the car, 567% increase in the price of houses. Why? Are we somehow losing land? There's not enough land in Malaysia. Now, let's just compare cost of living today, cost of living 1982. In 1982, I could have rented a whole house in Bangsa for 400 ringgit. house. Today, 400 ringgit might give you a room in Chowkit. Nasi campur. Nasi campur, I put it 2 ringgit. Actually, I can do it for 150. You can ask the senior people inside the room. Nasi campur, ikan kembung, sambal, kubis, 1 ringgit 50 cents. Today, if you don't have 6 ringgit, we have bus mini wilayah, 50 cents. Bread, cakes, you can see the price. Nasi lemak, 50 cents. Roti canai, 70, teh tarik, 40. And you look at the prices and you look at the percentages. Are we scarce of food? There's no buildings to give you houses. You're running out of food. Is that what? Now, let's say some of you may graduate this year, perhaps. Let's say those of you who just graduated this year, you go out, lucky enough to meet someone, you're going to get married. Okay. Now let's see how much money you need as a newly married couple in 2015. Okay. All right. Car. Your rental, your installment, at least 500. Yes. And then where are you going to live? You can't live in a room in childcare for 400. You have a wife, a mother-in-law, father-in-law in the camp. They can both so happily be respectable. You rent it, I don't know where. Okay. Kitchen, that's the barang dapur, and the things that your wife wants to cook. From grocery, 600. Petrol, toll, parking. These are all underestimated. I don't think you can get parking 200 ringgit in KL today. Lunch, giving you about 5 ringgit per day. I'm talking about KL, not UIA canteen. Electric, water, phone. That is indispensable now. Then of course, you need to give some pocket money to your wife, assuming that she's not working, and some money to your mom. You need 3,026 ringgit a month. And what did I say your starting salary was? 2,200. On your first month, you are short of 1,200. And that's where all the credit card salesmen will love to see. And let's say you're not yet married, and this is now your school leaver. He works as a cashier at 7-Eleven. Let's see what his expenses are. Bus, room. Yeah, he did get that room in childcare, 400. Food, I don't know how he can survive at 3 ringgit 50 cents per day. Maybe he can. Lunch, electric, a little bit money to mom. He needs 970, but 70 pays him 700 ringgit. So he is short of 270 ringgit. That's what young people are facing. Yeah. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I organized on behalf of Makoba, some of you may have heard, Malay College Old Boys Association, together with Puan Hayati Ismail, some of you may know, quite a famous NGI, organized soup kitchen in KL. And you know what? We discovered a new phenomenon. Now, if I say homeless, the things that come to your mind are beggars, vagabonds, and people with dirty clothes. In KL today, we have working homeless. Now, this is this is Masjid Negara front, and the railway station is over there. Now, I don't know whether you can see, if you see the clothing of the people who's queuing up for the food, you can tell that they are not beggars. They are young people working, who cannot spare. If they are earning 1,000 ringgit, they cannot spare 400 for the accommodation. Some of them got wife and kids in the kampung, which they send money to. Others, mom. So 400 ringgit. It's a lot of money that they cannot afford to spend on accommodation. They sleep gelandangan. You can join me one of these nights if you like to see the situation in KL. Okay, so what is the cause of these rising prices over the years? Nothing to do with the prices of materials going up. It is when the volume of money in the country goes up. And you imagine the country, you imagine the economy, and you imagine goods and services that's produced by the people in the economy. Now, these goods and services, it cannot immediately increase overnight. The increase is slow. But money goes like that. This is goods and services, and that is money. And this is the reason why you are facing this. The reason that you are facing this problem is because money increase at a huge amount constantly when the goods and services does not keep pace with yourself. That is the problem. If you wish to discuss fatwa with the Sharia people, scholars, tell them to forget about the furuk transaction, talk about this. The effect of the fiat money system today results in the increase in the volume of money for goods and services. That is what it's all about. It's not about ribawi transaction. It's not about full discussion. It is about the volume of money in it. That's what it's all about. Yeah? It has never been addressed by the scholars today. Now, this is what it's all about. Okay? If you look at the blue column, which represents goods and services, and then the darker one is paper money. It is the bank money that's creating the problem for you. You're confused. Huh? Bank money? What is it that you're talking about? Isn't paper money the only money in our system? Isn't it? There is another form of money? Yes, there is. Yeah. This paper, okay, paper money, is only about less than this slide. Alright. So the result of all this increase in prices is when banks overcreate what are called checkbook. This is just how many percent? Anyone? The paper and the coins in your pocket, how many percent of the total money supply?
20%.
Did anyone tell you this?
No.
Your economics lecturer, university lecturer, did they tell you this? This is 3% of the total money supply of the nation. And I'm not talking about Malaysia. Before you start saying that Zahid is opposition or whatever. It's true in any country in the world. I oppose everybody, including opposition. The bank checkbook money is 97%. 97% of the total money supply in the country are created by banks. And this is the reason you are facing this problem today. So what is it? What is banks checkbook money? Let's look at a very simple example. Ahmad, okay, 1,000 ringgit, pays the money, bank slump, given a checkbook. Now, Bank Islam does not keep Ahmad 1,000 ringgit in the vault. So that whenever he comes, oh, Cik Ahmad comes, this is your vault, this is your money. Bank Islam or any bank does not do that. What do? They lend Cik Ahmad's money. In fact, the banking system can do it 25 times. Yeah? They will lend to Padrol 900 ringgit because 10% you have to give to bank negara. They lend to Padrol 900, give Padrol checkbook. High rate 810, Daud 739, Effendi 656. The same money. So what you have here, you have 5 people holding checkbooks, believing they own this amount, and in reality, how much cash is there? This is how much cash you have. So the banking system has created 3,000 ringgit. And each of them has got checkbooks, which they can use to pay. Checkbook is money. And that is why definition of bank negara, M1, M2, current account is included. Because checkbook is money. You can pay things with checkbook. Now, you imagine 1,000 here can create 3,000 ringgit with a 10% reserve at bank negara, 1,000 ringgit deposited by you, the bank would create 9,000 ringgit out of thin air. If the total population of Malaysia placed 1 billion in the bank, they will create 9 billion of fictitious money. If it's 1 trillion, they will create 9 trillion of fictitious money. So are you surprised now? Are you surprised why volume of money goes up and we suffer from inflation? Okay, 2015, not yet graduated. Maybe 2015, maybe 2020. So when you are ready to graduate, when you're ready to buy a house, please tell me how much do you think the price of the house will be? So you might be commuting from Sungai Siput to work here. Because that's the only price you can afford. And then you get married. And you have children. And your children will start work in 2050. Please tell me what you think the house price is for your children in 2050. This is the system we live in. This is the system nobody tells you. Why so? Why? They themselves don't understand. So we are creating this awareness so that we have more people who want to change. We want to go back to what is allowed. Okay, so how to solve this problem of constant and unending rising prices? No two ways about it. We have to abandon this system. They call it fiat. Fiat is Latin, which means do it. Guna. Okay. Okay, sorry. Can you hear me? Is it better? Hello? Okay. We have to abandon this system. Let me explain to you why we were using the system in the first place. We did not use the system. We were using the gold dinar system. But today, we found ourselves using the fiat system. And some people refer to it as the mother of our riba. You create a banking system to avoid riba, but you are a riba creating machine yourself. We need to move to a system of money. Of course, the first choice is gold. Okay? Like my friend Brother Rahman mentioned, is there enough gold in the world for us to change the system? Okay? That is why I'm proposing. Now, this is going to be your master's thesis or your PhD thesis. I'm going to propose that money be pegged against GDP, monitored by an international Al-Hisbah organization. Al-Hisbah is an organization that controls the marketplace that existed in the days of the Prophet. And we have to bring this institution to 2015, and it will be an international institution. Some people may say, can we do it? This is where I want to answer very frankly. You can't do it without political power. That's a fact, right? You need to be in control. I don't know how that's going to happen. But once, let's say, you control a nation, and you get together with Turkey, you get together with Indonesia, you form a small bloc. And then you begin to extend yourself. And then you bring in BRICS. Have you heard of BRICS? Brazil, Russia, India, China, and so on. It's a slow move. I do not wish to talk about changing our system without changing the current administration. Cannot be done. Forget it. Cannot be done. So this movement, this perjuangan, this shumul, it's not just about money, it's about having the power to implement. How we get there, that's another matter. You may wish to visit our website, realmoney.com.my, or our FB page towards the Just Monetary System. We've got quite a number of followers. All right, let me just quote a hadith narrated by Sa'udan Quran, that the Prophet ﷺ said, meaning, after I die, after a long time I have left, Muslims will be weak. On that weakness, the non-believers will trample them like people who are facing food and inviting others to join them. So the companions asked, at that time, are the Muslims weak and their enemies very powerful? So the Prophet said, at that time, the Muslims, they are more in number. There's a lot of Muslims at the end of time, but they are weak, they are clueless, and they do not frighten the enemy. They are like the foam of the waves of the sea. We are not waiting for it to happen this today. Today, we are the foams of the waves of the sea. Why with that number, they are like foams of the waves in the ocean? The Prophet replied, because of two diseases, Al-Wan, and love of the world, fear of death. So, why did we become the foam of the waves of the sea today? Two diseases that the colonialists brought to Muslim nation. This is another fact. This is not known. It needs to be spread. Everybody must be aware of this. There is a book called Islam and Secularization by Professor Zahid Aziz. To me, a compulsory book for every learned Muslim to read. When they came here, sorry, I pressed wrong. When they came here, they brought with them two diseases. Riba and secularity. If you see the ayat in the Quran on riba, A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu taqullaha wa dharu ma baqiya minal riba in kuntum mu'minin. O you who have believed, fear Allah and give up what remains of riba if you are believers. Then the following ayat, فَإِنْ لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا فَأْذَنُوا بِحَرْبٍ مِنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَإِنْ تُبْتُمْ فَلَكُمْ رُءُوسُ أَمْوَالِكُمْ لَا تَظْلِمُونَ وَلَا تُظْلَمُونَ. And if you do not, then be informed of a war from Allah and His Messenger. Are you ready to go to war with Allah and His Messenger? You are? Are you ready to go to war? There are people in this world who are ready to go to war with Allah and His Messenger. There are. But if you repent, you may have the principle, you do no wrong, no one do wrong. Now just comparison. This is the Quranic ruling on alcohol and gambling. Al-Ma'idah 91. By means of intoxicants, by means of intoxicants and games of chance, Satan seeks only to sow enmity and hatred among you and to turn you away from the remembrance of Allah and from prayer. Note the admonishment. Will you not then cease? Tidakkah kamu mau berhenti? Will you not then cease? And let's see what the Quran says about riba. فَإِنْ لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا فَأْذَنُوا بِحَرْبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. War. When it comes to riba, Allah and Rasul declared war. So what's the difference? Is it a big deal? Is riba a big deal? Of course it is. Today, riba rules the world. It is actually forbidden by all the major religions. Alright? Judaism, riba is haram for other Jews. But it's halal for Jews. Yes. Yeah. In Christianity, the verses that prohibit riba is still inside that. It's still inside the Bible. But they have chosen to ignore it. And in Judaism, you will see that usury is a tool we use to control non-Jews. I will explain it to you. Now, how did the Christians legitimize usury? Now, we have to be careful. We have to understand the mistakes they made. Please do not repeat. So what happened in Europe was, when the church was in power, there was no usury. The church implemented the rule in the Bible. There was no usury when the church was in power. There was a time in Europe when the government was the church. However, in the 16th century, they began to change the teaching. And it began with a priest by the name of John Act in England. He delivered a talk at the University of Bologna that the opinion of Aristotle and Aquinas, who opposed the practice of usury, is wrong. A priest. We also may have some body like that. Suggesting that interest is not enough. And then it was followed by another priest, also from England, by the name of John Calvin, saying the same thing. And these two managed to influence a lot of other people. And in 1545, England passed an act of parliament legitimizing interest. They just defined a certain level of its interest. Above that, it is personal. Not for us. For us, every single interest above the principle is personal. Because we're not talking about the size, we're talking about the misallocation of the risk. So how did the history of banks look like? It began in Venice, and the Christian merchants, what they did was, because they were afraid of the church, they bring in the Jews. They give the capital, the Jews were the one who was doing the interest business. Why? If the church come and question them, they said, no, we're not doing it, it's the Jews. Okay? And the Jews, they like to work on benches. They will sit on the floor. There's a very low bench. In Italian, it's called banco. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the origin of the word bank. Now, some people say the Malays were also involved. Right? But we call, the Malays call the branch bangku, so we must have been involved. Were we? No, we were not involved, but we were very good at stealing words from the Portuguese. And the industry spread to Holland, France, and England, and the injustice of interest-based lending is no longer present. And today, riba is planted in the hearts of Muslims who became champions of riba. What is wrong with riba? Nothing wrong. Why are you people making so much noise? Riba, upon which was declared war by Allah and His Prophet, is practiced to the widest breadth by Muslims. The British Empire set up the Imperial Ottoman Bank in the Uthmaniyya Caliphate in 1896. But we can be proud. We set up our riba bank earlier. In Malaya, we set up our riba bank in 1860, even before. So are you proud? Record, Malaysia Balik. Followed by chartered bank. So let's now understand the effect of secularism on us. This is a situation not many understand, not many realize. In Malaysia, it's become something political. Secular associated with one political party, non-secular another party. So don't condemn secular. If you condemn secular, you will be condemning a political party. I'm telling you, condemn secular, whether or not a political party likes it. Nothing to do with politics. It is the problem of Western culture spreading into the thoughts and culture of Muslims. That's what secularism is all about. You need to understand that the church was in power in Europe. And they did not do a good job ruling the nations. They were hated by it. So the Europeans started a movement to sack the church. And once they are able to sack the church, they created this new religion called secularism. What they're saying is, don't worry, we are still Christians, but we don't want any element of religion in our life. Monday to Saturday, no religion. Religion only on Sunday morning. That's what they did. Yeah? It refers to the separation of religion from life. Yeah? And this phenomenon began between the 14th and 17th century in Europe. Yeah? So you have your John Eck, your John Calvin, your Robespierre, your Martin Luther in Germany. And these are the champions of secularism. And they were successful, they sacked the church. And they created life without religion. You need to understand that in your mind in order for you to understand our history. So it is the philosophical belief that separate worldly affairs from religion. Removing the role of religion and God from the affairs of the world. This is the pride of the West. Unfortunately, it also removes all traces of God from knowledge. The subjects that many young Muslims are learning in Muslim countries today are subjects created by people who believe there is no creator. It began with scientists like Galileo, Descartes, and Newton who said there is no God in this world is ruled by mechanical laws. This is the belief of the West. Obviously, this is a very narrow belief and it contradicts 100% with Islam, which is the religion of Shumon, all-encompassing. where we have Islam in ibadah, in economics, moral, akhlaq, science, politics, military, jihad. That is religion in every aspect of our life as compared to what they believe. And this is the proud statement of the Turkish Home Minister in 1937. With our secularism, we have made certain that Islam does not affect the affairs of the state. Let religion live in mosques and places of worship. That did not get out of his word. Very proud statement of the Turkish minister after the fall of the Osmanian Caliphate. At the beginning of the 20th century, after the collapse of the Ottoman Caliphate or Osmanian Caliphate, the colonialists dragged the Muslims. 1923, they start coming to us with their secular religion. We need to understand that. Okay? We need to understand how it affects us now. And they spread secularism to our mothers and fathers, grandfathers and us. And they did not leave our country until they have established their bodies. Until they have converted us to their thought, only then they leave. And today they may have left us, but we are still mentally colonized. And today we have people that chant slogans that laws of Allah is backward and have no role in the world affairs. Today we have someone who wants to abolish Jahid. This was so. This is the effect of secularism on our people. Today, we have someone who wants to remove Jahid, close down Jahid. This is the effect of the thinking that has been brought by the West. If we say secularism is good, then let's look at our condition today. We are indeed like the foam of the waves of the sea. Our strength was when we were secularized, when we were shumo, when we were masters of both worlds, masters of Quran and Hadith, masters of worldly knowledge. That's our target. All of you not only masters of worldly knowledge, but masters of Sharia. An education system that delivered the shumul delivered. That is our target. This is the golden age of Islam. We control 2/3 of the world. We even control Sicily and Spain. We produce, the Islamic world produce scientists, engineers, doctors, chemists, physicians, physicists, surgeons, mathematicians, astronomers, philosophers. And the West, they use books which are written by our scholars, and they give our scholars funny names. In medicine, they have a book of medicine by Avicenna. Who is he? He is Ibn Sina, father of medicine. Al-Hazan, father of optics. Jabal, they call Jabir ibn Hayyan, they call him Jabal, father of chemistry. Al-Khwarizmi created algorithms that came from his name. Father of algorithms, among other things. Abu al-Qasim, they call him Abu al-Qasis, father of modern surgery. Ibn Bajjah, they call him Avan Pace, founder, among other things, the third law of motion. And Ibn Zur, they call him Avan Zo, father of experiments. And there are more. You have Ibn Khaldun, father of economics. Ibn Rushd, philosophy, medicine, and science. Al-Kharaji, algebra, calculus. Sid bin Ali, trigonometry. Al-Razi, meso, smallpox discovered. Ibn al-Nafis, circulatory physiology. Ibn Sal, law of refraction. Ibn al-Shadir. This is when we were masters of both worlds. We were masters not only of worldly knowledge, we were masters of Quran and Hadith. Today you are specialists. I am a specialist. There is no Sharia person who commands worldly knowledge, and there are many people with worldly knowledge who do not command Sharia. That is our problem. So they brought riba and secularism to our nations. give us store our wealth, strengthen the enemies of Islam. Secularism, remove God from our education and life. And there is no God in Western knowledge. The subject that we still teach in Malaysia today. Subject brought by the West where there is no creator are the subject we still teach in Malaysia today. Do we not think? Except UIU and a few other USIM and a few other Islamic universities. All the other universities are still teaching riba economics. If you go to any of the universities today and study economics, the whole subject is premised on riba when Allah and His Rasul declared war. We have biology that teaches man descended from apes. Medicine that does not recognize Allah. Law, if you mention law, it is the man-made law. It's not our Quran and Sunnah. History, the greatest man in the world is Abraham Lincoln. Muhammad Rasulullah is not in the history book. You need to support this movement, Islamization of knowledge. And the old gentleman is still there, Kassis, Professor said. He is the man who made us realize about this secular. We still have a long way to go. We need to change the subject that we are teaching now with Muslims. I'm not just talking about Malaysia. Every Muslim country faces the same problem. It is this phenomenon of still teaching the godless subject that continually extend the mental colonization of today's young Muslims to the belief in all things secular. What can you tell me from this slide? Do I need to explain? Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala declare war on the practitioners of riba? These people used riba to pile a mountain of wealth. They took it to this country. They created a banking system that gives them more money and they fund both presidential candidates. America is not a nation, America is a continent. You need $1 billion US to win the presidential candidate, to win the presidency. Their election is normally in November. In October, they pretend they have to choose between Democratic and Republican. But the fact of the matter is they fund both candidates. So whoever becomes president needs to play in the winning war. This is your Obama, it's your Bush. And are you surprised who is now threatening Al-Aqsa? This is what it's all about. فَأْذَنُوا بِحَرْبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. It is not about interest on the Lord, it's about Al-Aqsa and Palestine. I think I will stop here. The 3 slides, we leave it for some other time. It's about